your missing time in the GPS situation?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was when you were talking. What was that?
Yeah, Vern. Does Paul, has he heard what happened to you with the GPS incident and missing time?
I think I've told him about it. I'm not sure.
Is that where he gets lifted up in the truck? But Vern doesn't always like to talk about some of his stuff publicly. So
I mean, there's so much of it that it's draining too. Like for me, I don't know how to explain it, but it drains me. Okay. You might talk about it, and I always and like and saving some of the stuff for like my channel to on my channel. But
oh, I didn't know you have a channel.
Yeah, I just started one, Vern Vision Intelnet.
Vern Vision.
Yeah, Intelnet, and I've been going out when Stu's been helping me with it, and I've been going out and doing UFO hunts in that area and stuff.
So here's an image on the screen here, Vern. Is that what you sort of saw, like this one up here?
No, not anything like that at all.
Like this one?
If you took like a cookie cutter and cut out a silhouette of a UFO, pretty much that's what it looked like. It was actually the UFO shape. For a while, when I saw this happen, I didn't know what it was that I saw for a long time. After reviewing and telling my story to many of my friends and stuff like that, I started reviewing it in my head because it literally burned an image in my freaking eye. I mean, after this all happened, I was looking at it through binoculars. I couldn't drive my truck for about 2 hours because I couldn't see.
So it's like this one here, where a spaceman is coming through an opening.
But it's like that almost, but it literally just disappeared. It was three-dimensional. There's not everything depicting there is one-dimensional.
Was it like jelly sort of? Was it like jelly closing up again?
Can I just Vern for a second?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hello, Vern. Yeah. Was it to the naked eye? Was it extremely bright as well?
Extremely bright. It was like so bright that I saw peripherally, like through the binoculars,
Okay.
And I was watching it peripherally, and there was other craft that would pop out of that hole that were exactly the same as the craft that went in, but they were about a 2/3 small scale.
A single color, or was the light changing?
The light was coming from every direction, almost like as if it was coming within itself, like within the world itself. Like the world itself produced the light. It was like no other place I've ever seen. It was just the light was every which way to the point where every object that was in that world was only like a stenciled out figure until it would pop into the world.
What about the color?
But the color, they were like an off silverish gold, maybe bronze almost, but the light was almost like a golden color. So it might have been the light coming from that hole that made it look bronze, because the one that went in looked silver to me. When I put the spotlight on it, it looked like it was a pewter silver, almost like a pewter, like a dull silver, but it reflected sort of, but it was like a titanium.
Do you recall the weather conditions that night?
It was clear and cold.
It was clear and cold.
Yeah,
so
that was probably around 19 degrees. Yeah, I have video before that happened of these horses. I ran into these horses, which was another weird part about this whole thing. That were all the same breed of horses, and they were wild horses, and as far as I know, and they weren't because I don't know, I've never seen a horse like that. And wild horses out here, normally the ones out there are Mustangs, and they're all different. It was weird. So I was trying to get them on video, and they were right in front of me, and I had my spotlight on them, and I swear I was looking at the video camera, and I could not see them in the video. And it wasn't until the very end of when the last horse was almost out of sight that it looked back that I could see it on the video. And when I replayed the video and all that, the horses were not visible until that last part. Very strange, but I could see them clearly with my eyes, you know what I mean? And that was just before this all happened. So somewhere on, and this is on a broken computer, that file's stored. And when I get the computer or the hard drives where I can access them again, I'm going to pull it off, and then I'll know the exact date and time about when all that occurred. But it was in the wintertime. I know that it was cold.
Was there any sound? Was there any sound coming from the wildlife?
We got echo going.
Yeah, this is sort of like a high northern desert. So the only thing that's really around that's large are those horses. I have seen 8 deer there once, but the deer are mainly on the other side of the valley where the Sierras are. So this is like where the pine nut range is, and on the other side there, it's pretty dry. The mountains are. The horses, in fact, they usually go down the river to water, and so they've been putting like water out there for them because when they're crossing the highway and stuff, they're exposed to danger. So that's how dry it is. You know, I've never seen a bear. People go back there hunting for bears. Out there like every day. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I got obsessed with this when I started seeing this stuff, and the only reason why I probably saw the crap that I saw and all that had happened was because I was out there every night for 4 years, just about. You know, until the summer came along. The summer came along, they would just disappear. They wouldn't be out there. In the summer, the days are a lot shorter. So whatever they're doing, they're operating pretty much at night or whatever, during the night hours or whatever. And I got to where I could see, I snuck up on, there's a lot of different things going on there that were really unusual, odd things with these things. And like, not all of them look like this, some of them look like lights, like or a ball or something like that. And there's this one thing that was up there for 3 weeks. And it was traveling on this mountain the same way every night. And somebody would say, or by looking at it in a distance, would think it was a guy on a motorcycle. But if you saw the mountain, there's no way that they could travel a mountain that fast and up how steep it was on a motorcycle. It was almost right down this one spot, and it was pretty sketchy. I almost got stuck there again in my truck, and I got down, and this thing came around the side of us, the way the mountain was or whatever, and it was like pretty close to me, and it stopped, and it was like a blue light and a white light, and I couldn't see any structure to it, and it was stopped there, and it was like observing me for a second, then went back around, and it was the same thing that was going up and top of it. But when I saw it on the hill, it had an amber light and a red light. So don't ask me why it was a blue light there, but it was a blue light. It was just bizarre.
I love that show.
Positive it was the same object. Because I was right at the point where it was coming down, and it was like, I think it detected me, or I was there and came over to see what I was doing or whatever. But what it is, I don't know.
I remember seeing this so far.
I saw one time I was looking with my binoculars because I was waiting for it to get light, and it got light. I just sat there for like 2 hours looking in this one spot where I would see it exit, that I never could get out, leave, and it looked like something that belonged in space. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. It had like boom off of it and stuff, and it wasn't a helicopter or anything like that. It had no visible signs. It just like, it came out, and I just watched it, and it just was like, it just changed its form as it was moving. And the last thing I saw of it, it had like these booms coming out of it, and I was like, whoa, it was weird. But these things alter their form too. I've watched them go from like a ball of light into a disc several times. So I mean, there was on Halloween. I had an incident on Halloween. Okay, I took my kids around trick or treating. I saw a UFO. I got another guy, complete stranger, standing next to me. And I pointed it out to him, and it took him a couple times before he realized it was a UFO too. Like, he kept saying it was a plane, it was a helicopter, and he was like, oh my God, it's a UFO or whatever. And then he went to go tell this other guy, and all of a sudden, right as he was talking to the guy, he stopped in mid-sentence, and he started talking about something else, and they were walking around with the kids, like something deprogrammed and like changing just like that. I was like, wow. And my daughter observed it too. My daughter has observed a bunch of stuff with me where she remembers it. She was young enough, but she remembers it, But the weirdest thing was that night, I saw these discs, the disc over there, and I went around to look in the field because of where it was. There's a big open field back there, right by my house, where they grow like alfalfa and stuff. It's really big. And I saw 3 discs on the ground. I saw 3 more coming over. That's when I went, holy shit. And I ran over to my kids to take them home. And my kid looks up at me, and he could not speak. He was too young to speak. He was like almost not even 2 years old. And he says, write book. And I look at my daughter, and she goes, Dad, he just said write book. And I'm like, I heard what he said. And I look back at him, and he says, write book. And that was the only times he ever said it, one of those 2 times. But he couldn't even say data. He couldn't say anything at that point. So, that was really weird, too. Like, my daughter even remembers that like it was yesterday. And we had an object that followed us one night in my car that was like about a foot away from the back of the car. And she looked back, and she could see it, and she told me and described to me what it was and everything else. It was crazy. Absolutely.
That's the show. Fringe was the name I was looking for. This guy here, a few TV shows at the moment. The old guy.
But it's pretty hard to discount what a child says, especially when you have a child that's like she is, and she is all about the truth. She would not lie for me. because she understands the importance of the truth and all that stuff. So and she was 6 years old. It was very impressionable, and it was burned in her her mind too. It's like one of those things that I don't know how you but
Thanks, Vern.
So,
Yeah, very interesting, mate.
has your kids ever talked about being abducted at all?
well, my son is like very skittish of the dark and everything like that. I mean, it's overly, like during the daytime, he's afraid of things in the dark, and even like a shadow or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I was pretty scared too when I was a kid like that, but not like to the point where he was. Like during the daytime, I didn't have any fear like that, but but the thing is that it got me is that Amanda's mom, my girlfriend or whatever, we're going to a soccer game for the kids or whatever, and we're walking over there or driving over there, and she's like just out of the blue starts talking about these lights or whatever, and that when she's a child, that and what was even more odd was Amanda never even heard the story, and she was like telling this vivid account of these things that I've seen around here too, and like unprovoked or anything. I just started talking about it out of the blue, like she needed to let it off of her chest or whatever, and I'm like, wow, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Because that's 57 or 58, I think it was right around there. I'm 50. But anyway, she was having it happen when she was 6 or 7. So it's been going on here for over 50 years. The same phenomenon. So it's nothing new. This isn't just something that happened. I just happened to notice it one day,
Well, you heard of Darren Grapo's story. He had a similar thing as a kid himself. Apparently, his parents watched him being dragged away by aliens into his spaceship, is his story. And that's how he got into UFOs, I guess.
Well, it goes out there. I've seen some things out there that you ask why you didn't videotape it. Well, the problem is with video equipment is, number one, is having enough light. And if you don't have a night vision scope on it or whatever, anything that's low light is very difficult to pick up. And if you go into all that digital zoom, it's just crap video. At night especially. I mean, during the daytime, it's bad enough. You can kind of barely see stuff going on. But a lot of the video, I mean, a lot of the things that were occurring at quite a distance, you know what I mean? And like if you're using a